Well, hello. How are you doing today? My name's Mike. I run this channel. It's called Glitterati Lobotomy, which is very hard to say. And it has that name because back in 2018 I started a website where I was trying to talk about highbrow movies and how to make them more accessible, specifically like art house stuff. And that leads right into the very first video that I posted here on the channel back in February of 2020. So we're coming up on the 2-year mark. But it was a video comparing Force Majeure to Downhill, which was a terrible Will Ferrell American remake of Force Majeure. And it was after that I made my Summer Camp Island video, which I still think is one of the most popular videos on the channel. And now the cat's right in front of the light. Gene, you can't do that. But before I get into like some more details about the channel and everything and what it's become over time, this is a channel update video. I've never really done one of those before. I doubt it'll get many views, but I figured why not? Let's go ahead and make one, because it has been an interesting experience to kind of start the channel as one thing and see it sort of naturally develop into something else over time. Do you want to sit here now? What? So generally speaking, if you're trying to start some kind of brand, and I hesitate to use that word in reference to my YouTube channel, because it feels more personal than that. But regardless, when you're starting a brand, you're really supposed to maintain a very consistent image of that brand, and it can't really be all over the place. You can't have it mean a bunch of different things. It needs to be focused. It needs to mean something very consistent. And that's not what I've been doing with the channel at all. I've been all over the place in terms of subject matter that I cover in videos, and I think that lines up very well with how I am in just my day-to-day life. I don't just focus on one thing all the time. I do have a set of sort of long-term projects and goals and all that that I'm working towards, but in the meantime, sort of from day to day, I work on a bunch of different stuff. I do some visual art stuff. I make some music. I have my job, which is writing. I do my own personal writing on top of that, and then I also write stuff for the channel. And I'm sure if you've been following the channel for a while, you've seen that variety. Sometimes I make sort of theory videos, the brainstorm videos. Sometimes I do talk about music or video games. But the most consistent thread through all of it has been talking about animation. And I think that most of the people subscribed, probably that's the big appeal. I think that's what a lot of people are here for. At least that's the impression I get. Feel free to tell me otherwise, I guess. Specifically in December, you might have noticed that I was doing a bunch of videos. For a while there, I was doing like basically a video a day for a few weeks. It was kind of crazy, and I think I was doing that specifically because I felt like I felt like people had been coming to the channel for that, and I just wasn't providing it. I wasn't talking about every show that was coming out. I wasn't talking about every animated movie that was hot at the time. And so I wanted to catch up in a way. And when I was doing that, the rate at which we were gaining new subscribers was higher than it has been in a long, long time, maybe like a year or so. Which is good. I mean, like, again, I'm talking about how I, change the things I'm doing from day to day. I also feel that way about YouTube metrics, and like, obviously this is still a very small channel. I have no idea whether it would ever be viable to do this as some kind of a career thing. At the very least, it's something I just enjoy doing most of the time, and I enjoy talking about things that I wouldn't get to talk about in just other settings in my life, other social dynamics. So it's really great for that. But at the same time, I do think I want to continue doing videos on other subjects. So if you really are someone who's just here to see me talk about animation in some form, or to see some of the stuff that I animate myself, that's great. And if I happen to post something that's on a completely different subject and you're just not into it, that's fine. I don't care. It's okay if that stuff continues to get very low numbers. But yeah, as long as no one's like actively angry at me, I wouldn't want to make anyone upset by having a variety of content, talking about a variety of subject matter. So please let me know if it's like an issue for me to be covering a bunch of different stuff. I hope it's not. I hope it's just a preference thing for most people. So that's basically the biggest point that I wanted to bring up today. But I do have some other sort of points I can touch on just to keep everybody up to date with sort of my plans for the channel and and just what's been going on. And I don't know. That's basically it. I don't like talking to camera. It's not my favorite thing. It's also really hard to record yourself and make sure everything's like focused and in frame just the right. It's not easy to do by yourself, especially when your tripod's busted. And the cat's not being very helpful right now. Could you check the camera? Streaming. Since I think like July or August, I was streaming about once a week on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then in December, I took a big break from that. I had sort of a vacation thing going on, and then I just really wasn't in the mood, and I was also making so many videos that it just felt like too much. I do enjoy doing the streams, and if people enjoy me streaming, that's a great incentive for me, because sometimes it can feel like, oh, I'm just doing this because I feel like I have to. I don't want people to feel like they're obligated to show up to the streams. I don't want that dynamic going on. But I mean, that's part of why I do the channel at all, is I enjoy talking to people. I specifically really enjoy talking to people about animation and lots of other art forms too. And also just mundane stuff. I don't know, I enjoy it. It's a specific type of social interaction that I can actually handle at this point. And it's fun. But yeah, that said, for the moment, I'm planning to go back to streaming more consistently, just here on YouTube. I briefly streamed on Twitch. It was not a good fit, I don't think. Maybe one day it would be a better fit. For the moment, I think YouTube is the best option. Yeah, let me know your feelings on that. Let me know if you want to, if you're into the streams, if you're not such a big fan, or you just can't make that time slot, whatever. I know some people prefer to watch the streams when they're uploaded after the fact. That's cool too, obviously. But yeah, that's it for streams. This might seem like a minor point, but it's actually a pretty important point to me, and it's the topic of subtitles and captions on videos. There was, I don't remember when this was, probably sometime during the fall, I started trying to put captions on videos. It's not a great process. Like, YouTube does give you a few different options for putting captions on your videos. The default is that it'll try to auto-generate captions based on like speech to text, basically. Those are not very reliable, and I want to have captions on all my videos, at the very least English captions. I think that's kind of the bare minimum. And basically I just see that as an accessibility thing. There are plenty of people out there who are just on YouTube, or people who are really into animation, who for whatever reason can't really engage with the oral aspect of YouTube, and specifically my YouTube videos. And at the very least, I want to have some reliable and accurate captions that I can share. But like I said, it's a pretty tricky process, and it takes a long time and a lot of work, and it's kind of strenuous, especially for the longer videos. It can take a good few hours just to do the captions, and I can really only do that after everything is uploaded. And on my internet, any video takes hours and hours and hours to upload. So it just adds a lot to the process of getting videos out quick. But I do want to do that. I'm going to try my best to keep adding captions to some of the most popular videos, because those are the ones that most people are watching, apparently. So I want to have those available, but please forgive me if I don't always have them there. I'll try to put something in the thumbnail or the title, maybe, to communicate that a video does have reliable captions that I myself have added. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. It's important to me. I want to make that a more consistent thing, and for the moment, I'm trying my best to get it done. Let's see, we unlocked the community tab a while ago. I thought that was only after you hit 1,000 subscribers, because that's where you can also monetize on the channel. But I guess not. I guess like 500 was the limit, and now we can just do community posts, which I think is kind of fun. I've been wanting to do that for a while. And I've been trying to come up with stuff to post there and polls and stuff. I also think that would be a really good way for people to communicate stuff to me. I don't think you can comment on posts, but just polls and everything. It could be good. That could be helpful in a lot of ways. And one of those posts that I put up recently was just sort of a feeler to bring up the topic of creating a Patreon for the channel. And I was hesitant even to make that post because I don't know. I mean, as someone who watches so much YouTube myself, I'm kind of sick of Patreon at this point, or at least like hearing about it all the time. I get it, and especially from the perspective of someone who does create all this stuff for no monetary gain whatsoever. I've never earned any money at all of any kind from posting YouTube videos. Nothing at all. I'm not averse to the idea of earning money from my videos. It is a lot of work. It's been a couple years now. And since I'm a freelancer in general, like you can't not consider other potential ways to bring in some money. Like every dollar counts, basically, to put it kind of bluntly. And yeah, I have considered Patreon. I'm still kind of considering Patreon. I'm still not sure whether it would be a good fit for the channel right now and for sort of the subscriber base that we have. And the poll basically said as much. The vast majority basically said, oh, I wouldn't join the Patreon, but like whatever, you do you. And then a small handful of people were saying like, oh yeah, I'd contribute something. So that's still up in the air. I have no idea. Maybe in another few months, maybe if we continue to get a decent number of subscribers, I would consider actually making a Patreon. But another difficult part of that is trying to figure out really good ways to make contributors feel like they're getting their money's worth, like I can do something special and extra outside of them just having the good feeling of supporting someone who's doing work that they like. And that's difficult, especially because it's a big thing with me that I have tried to navigate interactions with viewers in a way where I don't feel like I'm fostering parasocial relationships for nefarious purposes. I see this happening a lot on YouTube and a lot on Twitch, definitely, is people will very obviously foster parasocial relationships with their fan bases, and it's for monetary gain. Like whether or not that's their intention, that is the result, is you have all these people thinking like, oh, I know this person on a very personal level, and like we're good buddies even though we've never met in real life. This other person might not even know exists. I'm not a fan of that, and I do think there are ways of interacting with viewers in a way that's very responsible, that doesn't put you in that kind of situation. But Patreon in particular has posed a specific kind of challenge in that regard of just like, how can I make myself accessible and really interact with potential patrons in the future in a way that doesn't feel like skeevy and weird. It's difficult is what I'm saying, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. If anyone has input on that topic, I would be very, very happy to hear it. I might actually read the comments on this video. Some of the videos I posted recently, I just can't read the comments anymore. It's not fun all the time. But this one for sure, I feel like it's mostly going to be, people who have been around the channel for a while who are actually interested in what's going on here that would watch this video in the first place. And you know what? That's probably everything. I didn't have too many notes, but yeah, I mean, as a way of closing this out, I definitely want to say a very genuine thank you to the folks who have subscribed to the channel, to people who check out my videos on a pretty regular basis, especially, or just have watched any of them at all. It is, sincerely a little bit surprising when people are interested in my work, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah, who knows what the future of the channel will be in terms of like subscriber numbers and other metrics and stuff. For the moment, I don't really care. It is something I enjoy doing. For the moment, I have plenty of time to work on stuff for the channel, so that's great. If I was also doing like a full-time job in an office or something, it would be very, very difficult to keep up the pace of the stuff that I've been producing. So, yeah, for the moment, I'm very happy to keep doing it, regardless of whether there's any financial incentive for me to keep doing it. I just like it. I just like it, and I get to talk about things that I'm interested in, and sometimes other people enjoy that discussion too. That's about all I can say. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this update video. I don't have anything else clever to say. I took my glasses off because the glare from the light was no good. But that's it. Thanks for stopping by.